On October 16th, the Deadlock Fight Night number 2 commenced. With a slight change in format, we saw two teams playing at a best of 1 to see who would take on our returning champions of Buff Enjoyers. DMS and 36 Mafia were fighting for that chance to compete for $1,000. To kick off our first match, we had DMS up against 36 Mafia in a best of 1. DMS went for the Viscous ban, while 36 Mafia went for Ivy. As Play With Me goes for a gank onto Saf in lane 1, Smoothfoo on the Warden reads it perfectly for the counter gank.
Play With Me is in such an advantageous spot. Again, over to lane number 1. Pretty ahead on farm. Now under pressure. Warden binding word, gonna take him out.
10 minutes into the match, DMS catches 2 players off guard in lane 1, all the while split pushing to take the lane 4 walker. 36 Mafia closes the gap in souls, winning the trade, but losing the objective.
Warden just like specifically susceptible to getting ganked like that because he wants to be premeditated. It takes 2 seconds to channel that last stand before it actually activates, which is kind of why we talk about the Majestic Leap builds being so good.
First swamp, carbine out. And everything.
36 Mafia try to take control of the match by trying to send a push down lane 1. However, with an amazing teleport behind them by Play With Me, DMS comes out with 4 limbs and a 6k soul lead.
Guardian's still going to be picked up here. YG going to take care of that one now. Caught inside the telekinesis though. And well, I guess there was a soul exchange used there somehow, but didn't look like the help really came through for the Lady Geist. And Wolfie going absolutely nuts here. That is huge. Good to see that Hayes getting online.
Play With Me continues to lead the charge as he picks up Shadow Weave and becomes the playmaker for his team, kicking off a 4-for-0 team fight.
You do have McGinnis with Rescue Beam on the other end, and here we go. Play With Me saying, let's throw the cards, and finds Jam Side, a clean pickoff onto the Infernus. And it might be all in from both teams, but Spacemaker, it's all out, Mitch. 2 down for 36 Mafia as it kicks off.
Yeah, and you can see here that this is no interest for Smoothfoo to try and stay in that fight any longer. While all this is happening, of course, like your Haze is starting to get pretty frightening as well. Ricochet already picked off, so definitely thinking about sort of being, high impact in some of these team fights, or at least fighting through a lot of these tunnels. But we just saw the kind of bread and butter here for DMS, right? Talked about pick potential in the draft. Play With Me walks up on anyone. 25k souls, they're dead. 4 active items, slowing hex, you've got everything. You've got that Shadow Weave, so you can't even be caught. You are not safe anywhere on the map against that right now. Like, gets up in the sky, but...
Off the back of a pick on Jam Side, DMS finally cracks open 36 Mafia's base.
Without a hitch. And you can see here, well, yeah, the fight's good. This is getting out of hand now. This is a very fed, very scary raid.
Yeah, and unfortunately for 36 Mafia, this is a best of 1, right? Their tournament life on the line, as it were, show match life. Match series. We're working on the terminology, but regardless, it's a BO1. This is it. This is for the right to fight Buff Enjoyers.
As a final move of desperation, Lex looks for a pick with Paradoxical Swap. DMS had other ideas though, as they ran it down and finished off the match, advancing to play against Buff Enjoyers.
Whereas Telekinesis comes on in, the cards keep on coming for Play With Me. And with another 2 picked, Rejuve, not to be gone, but the pressure here overwhelming. 36 Mafia tries to make anything happen. It's just kill after hit kill. And now Patron again pummeled at the end. And look, Jam Side in the game or not, would not have changed this result here at the end. DMS just snowballing their way to victory. And
off the back of Play With Me on his Wraith, DMS secured the victory against 36 Mafia. But now the true test was to come, taking on Buff Enjoyers in a best of 3. In our first map, both teams decided to do targeted bans, with Buff Enjoyers taking away Wraith from Play With Me and DMS taking away Paradox from the KLS. Listic and Zergy with the uncharacteristic Warden Haze lane decided to show off its power as a duo with Sleep Dagger and Binding Word.
We are going to see a bit more aggression coming back from DMS there, but elsewhere, this is Psycho in a lot of trouble. They're getting caught by that same combo. Didn't Heavy Barrage come down by the McGinnis, but it's just too late to save the Lady Geist.
Pandemonium erupts in lane 3 as Sunny Drive kicks off the first team fight of the match.
Portage is going down. It's getting spicy. Lash on the rotation. Death Slam in. Play With Me. Trying to get out. Blows up Lash. And all sorts of chaos going on there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Piggy able to find way too many. There's a lot of souls being funneled right now onto that Ivy, but we digress here. Overkim helping enough now, of course, grouped up with the Viscous. Eventually, Piggy is going to be brought down, but there will be reprisal swiftly here from Buff Enjoyers, fighting around that mid-boss area, even though it is unpopulated at present. The KLS trying to back up. Dimov going down again upon return to that lane.
Mitch, well, the fastest way the teams will play is what we're seeing right now. It just turns into a scrum. Everyone off the zip line back on.
In the end, Buff Enjoyers come out ahead 6-5. Buff Enjoyers show off their team fighting skills as they defend their lane 1 Guardian, all the while engaging in a fight in lane 4.
In that situation, now laying in damage from the back. 3v3 here in lane 1, and Mirage finds Viscous.
Yeah, I mean, Buff Enjoyers here with obviously Dumbers on this far right lane. Zergy here hits the sleep. Melee comes in now as well. Going to be throwing down the bullet dance. Deathslam, though, got to interrupt this now, going a little bit low.
However, confidence was their downfall as DMS boosts into the fight.
That will be the catch out. So the combo eventually works there for Buff Enjoyers. A little truncated and syncopated, I guess, but they do find that elimination. Now, though, of course, Viscous here, all the way over on this far right side lane. Meanwhile, the Guardian was also being pressured down, but there's nothing that Listic could do to help Zergy there. In comes the pocket. Wolfie wants to try and get involved here. Threw down that affliction. And Michaelis gets picked off by Psycho 13.
Yeah, both sides of the map going crazy. Listic not quite able to get away towards the end. You saw just the pure slipperiness of...
To continue to maintain their hold over DMS, Buff Enjoyers send Demov, Piggy, and a majestic leaping Listic to prevent their opponents from getting a flex spot.
Start to test some of these resources. That was the Yamato coming in off to the side. Psycho 13 doesn't stick around and hang out, but unfortunately for McGinnis, they lack the mobility to get out, and everything, including the kitchen sink, has been thrown at them. Overkim stunned up here, and now Psycho wants to get involved in this fight. Ultimate not available for them, it doesn't matter. Piggy still brought down that gun from the Geist. He's hitting very, very hard.
With an almost 60k soul lead, Buff Enjoyers force a fight at mid-boss. Well, more of a slaughter to close out the first game.
What happened here is Rejuvenator take for Buff Enjoyers or DMS Stealer and still get punished. Shadow Transformation going to be popped in advance there. You'll notice that they are ready to fight Dimov at the fort. Overkim going to go down early, and Dimov, Rejuvenator, the duo lane I think was what impressed me the most. But Piggy and Sharik lane, ZP, that's one they get off to a huge lead.
As the teams head into their next match, Buff Enjoyers were able to secure the Wraith first pick, and instead ban Mirage as DMS continues to deny Michaelis his main hero. After losing first blood to Demov on the Yamato, Wolfie was able to keep his composure and prevent a snowball from happening in his lane.
Not necessarily saving kills to the other side, but if you can, it's great. And Yamato feeling the burn here, Mitch.
Zergy on Wraith starts to show his presence around the map as he roams from lane 3.
Here we go again. It's the roaming Wraith. Long range telekinesis used to, and a TP to follow it up. This is serious. Oh my goodness. Sunny had nowhere to go.
Sharik gets caught out in mid, but hits his VTech as he's able to speed off. Buff Enjoyers instead turn this around into 2 kills for themselves.
Yeah, into the charge melee as well. Guys trying to come and assist here. Can Sharik get away? That would be ridiculous. Kelvin comes to the rescue now, and it's turned into a 3 versus 1. And telekinesis pretty good at holding someone aloft in midair while you take them to Pound Town.
Play With Me wants to play with his food as he hears Zergy farming in the jungle. All of DMS swoop in for the kill. Or so they thought.
Whatsoever. Here we go. Telekinesis out once more. Zergy. Not the easiest way to fall through, and in fact, the cavalry comes on in. The last stand in from Warden, though, from Shriek does massive damage here, Mitch, and that really turns the fight.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, that is what Warden can do for you.
Just a minute later, Buff Enjoyers group to take their first walker of the game. A nicely positioned Singularity out of Hapix allows DMS to pick up 4 kills in this fight.
Singularity, though, catches a couple plays inside of it with a follow-up. Where is it? See the back away instantly from Listic. Can he get out? The stun coming out. Nice ultimate from the Infernus there, but Psycho goes down. And you'll notice that Zergy gets to play from a pretty comfortable position here. Doesn't quite get a catch, though, off those cards. Frozen Shelter deployed already here. The Piggy's been taken down. Sunny comes straight on through now. Good exchange. Buff Enjoys it, though, of course, with a Rejuvenator in hand. Can allow this to happen. A great sleep, though, catching on towards that 7. And Michaelis is brought down 2.
Very great.
Off the back of winning the last team fight, DMS chased Demov across the map. One thing they forgot, though, was the Rejuvenator respawn timers as Buff Enjoyers finish off 2 quick kills.
You have Singularity and Death Slam as tools. That's basically the fight you need to have if you're going to do anything here, but you can't get caught out like this. And off the zip comes Wraith. Of course, it's Zergy who's been a menace.
While sporting a 30k soul lead, Buff Enjoyers stalk their prey and wait for DMS to make a mistake. Unfortunately for them, Psycho gets caught out on Shiv, and Buff Enjoyers take 5 kills mid-boss and close out the series 2-1.
For a bullet time, looking a bit scary, but Listic can just keep his distance with that Soul Siphon and stay healthy through it all. It feels inexorable. Once Buff Enjoyers get such a big lead, DMS can step up as 6, as 5, as 12, it doesn't matter.
And what we saw there, Mitch, Buff Enjoyers continuing to impress. Maybe things didn't go well for them on the weekend, but they've licked their wounds, have come back stronger, and, you know, they had a strong game plan for DMS, and they executed it, and